In July of this year will mark the 50th anniversary of the landmark encyclical Humanae Vitae issued by Pope Paul VI in 1968. This encyclical articulates the beauty of God's plan for marriage and life-giving love, and specifically addresses the use of artificial contraception and sterilization. In Humanae Vitae, Pope Paul VI reminded the world of the firmly established teaching that marital sexuality, the two becoming one flesh, has two essential purposes. The first purpose is the deepening of the union of the couple, brought closer and expressing their love with their whole selves. The second purpose of the spousal embrace is to work with God as stewards of His creation, to willingly participate with Him in His creative act. That means that the married couple is always open to new life as a part of the marital embrace. When we recognize these two essential purposes of God's design for husband and wife, the union of the spouses and procreation, we see how detrimental it would be to the very core of the relationship between man and woman for one of these purposes to be willfully inhibited. For this reason, our faith recognizes that any form of artificial contraception, as well as sterilization, contradict the very plan of God built into our nature. 50 years ago, when he formulated this document, the Holy Father cautioned that the consequences of us losing sight of the twofold purpose of God's plan for spousal love would be serious. He foresaw, back in 1968, that despite the best of intentions, widespread use of contraception would result in a degradation of morality throughout society in a way that would particularly impact our young people and increase marital fidelity. He also warned that men may forget the reverence due to a woman, and that she would likely become an object of use instead of a valued partner whom should be loved and cared for. Finally, he predicted that governments and those in power might impose upon the rights of a husband and wife by mandating the use of contraceptives and sterilization. As we look around ourselves today, if we're honest with ourselves, we can recognize the truth of Pope Paul VI's words. As the world has attempted to redefine God's plan for married love, each of these predictions has tragically come to pass. This serves as a reminder to us of the importance of attending to God's will in all things. He is love. He created us in His love, and He has taught us how to love. God has given us His law and His church not to restrict us, but to help and to guide us. We ought not to disregard His design and purpose for our life or love, and in fact, we cannot without serious consequence. In Humanae Vitae, the Holy Father acknowledges that this teaching is not easy, especially in a world that has distorted sexuality to such an extent that its true purpose is no longer understood. The type of love to which the Lord calls us requires courage, generosity, and sacrifice. Many with good intentions have lived in marriage, not knowing or understanding the teaching of our faith because it is spoken of and taught too rarely and in truth, often without confidence. Still, in this anniversary year, we have the opportunity and in fact the need to study again this great teaching. We're called to be new creations in Christ, working with Him to transform our families and the world as He has called us. The Church knows this is no small undertaking, but she's here on this earth with shepherds and the sacraments readily available to help each and every one of us on this earthly pilgrimage.